My toxic mother. She's always disrespected my marriage, and it makes no sense. My husband's never done anything to her. But then I found out one of her deepest, darkest secrets, and it made all the sense in the world why she opposes my marriage now. It's because she knows my father-in-law. Oh boy, does she know him. In fact, they go real far back. Hey guys, I'm Lena, and I'm here to share with you how my mother hates me. Yeah, I can go on saying that I'm in a pickled situation and that there's many things that are not going well, but the thing is, at the core of every problem, there's just two things. My mother and her hatred for me. I'm not being a brat saying mean things about my mom on the interwebs just because mommy said no to a lolly. No, this just has always been the truth of my life since as far as I can remember. I was born a fair, healthy, sound child. I didn't cry or trouble much as a kid. At least that's what my father told me. Yet my mother barely loved me as a toddler to even have one set of worthy album pictures of me. I grew up to be studious. I mean, not really straight A's, but hey, I was okay and did a lot of extracurricular activities, yet never received a pat on the back for all the hard work I put in. Now that I think about the time, I think I was trying too hard just to get my mother's validation, which I never received no matter how hard I tried. I remember the countless times I would come home with a decent report card or win an award at school, hoping to see a glimmer of pride in Mom's eyes. But instead, all I got was indifference. It was like she couldn't care less about my accomplishments. No matter how big or small, naturally I just turned to a rebellious teenager and stopped caring about receiving my mother's love. My father's love was more than enough. See, he's always been there for me, cheering me on and believing in me when nobody else did. However, that's when things started to get worse. If I thought dealing with her neglect was difficult, I was in for a whole new level of a wake-up call. Because soon came her incessant meddling, literally everything. My mom seemed to have developed this knack for finding fault in everything I did. Whether it was the way I dressed, the friends I hung out with, or the career path I chose. She always had something negative to say. Everything I did was wrong. Everything that I was wrong. When I was 10, I received a B in my test paper. When I handed her the test paper, instead of congratulating me, she just glanced at it and said, "Well, you could have done better." When I was in high school, I decided to join the drama club. I loved acting and performing and told her about it, and she just rolled her eyes and said, "Why would you waste your time with that? You'll never make it as an actress." And when I told her that I wanted to go to college and study art, she scoffed and said, "Art? What kind of job are you going to get with that? You'll never make any money as an artist," and sometimes it felt like the fact that I'm alive is what she has an issue with. So I guess now all you can understand why I don't want to listen to her, when she now says that I shouldn't marry my boyfriend because she doesn't think that he's good for me. Let me explain. Due to my mother's insistent meddling and toxicity, I specifically applied to a faraway college, one that is in the next town, and luckily I got in and moved out. That's where I met Ryan, my now boyfriend. It was during one of the art exhibitions at our college. I had showcased my artwork there too, but very few people could tell the meaning behind my painting, and he was one of them. We hit it off instantly and have been dating since, and I don't know, call it my childhood wound or whatever it's called nowadays. But Ryan offered me everything that my mother could not. He didn't just see meanings and values in my work, but me. He values my opinion, celebrates my wins, and holds a space for me to be me. And he's an excellent photographer, so that adds to the benefits too, LOL. Well, it's been 5 years since we started dating, and he recently, as in the last month, proposed to me. I know, it was a big day for me. One of the best days of my life, so I took him home to meet my parents. My father instantly liked him, and let's just say that didn't find anything mean to say about him, which I do consider a win. We instantly started planning for the wedding, and both our parents wanted to pitch in, so we decided to set up dinner meetings so that we can discuss the arrangements, budget, and responsibilities, which was a day before yesterday. We all met at a cozy restaurant in town, and as we sat down to dinner, the conversation flowed easily. We talked about our venues, guest lists, decorations, and each of us shared our ideas and suggestions. However, as the evening wore on, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. My mother seemed pale and was quieter than usual. Her smile was strained and forced, and I asked her if everything was okay. But she just brushed it off, saying she wasn't feeling well. And then just like that, she excused herself from the table and left the restaurant early. I was worried, of course. I just don't want anything to go wrong with my wedding. Seeing how unlike her usual self she was, my mother hasn't really had anything to say about it. So I was just praying that the miracle continues. However, like any beautiful dream, this one woke up too. The next morning, she started with her slight snide remarks, finding fault in everything from the venue we chose to the color of the flowers. It started with little comments here and there, subtle digs and disguised as helpful suggestions. She would criticize the venue we chose, saying it was too expensive or too far away. Then she would move on to the guest list, questioning why we were inviting certain people and not others. But it didn't stop there. Oh no, it was like she was on a mission to find a fault in every single aspect of the wedding. From the color of the flowers to the style of my dress, she had something negative to say about everything. And today she crossed the line. This morning, I went to her and tried to reason with her to understand where all this hostility was coming from, but she wouldn't listen. It was like she had made up her mind that she did not approve of Ryan or our marriage, and nothing I said or did could change that. She went as far as pointing out flaws in Ryan's ideas and questioning his commitment to our relationship even. That was the breaking point. Here I was, planning one of the happiest days of my life, and my own mother was doing everything she could to ruin it. She always does that. I mean, what can't she just let me be happy for? Well, what else could I do? I simply stated that I'm going to marry Ryan whether or not she likes it. Right now, I'm writing this from my old room, whose door I just slammed hard, and I know it's childish, but I'm just so mad. What's up with her? What's her problem? Why can't she ever be happy for me, or at least just let me be happy? However, as I'm writing this to you guys, I can't help but wonder what caused this. I mean, really. Because remember how I mentioned that she didn't say anything mean about Ryan at all, and it was for a month? I mean, what changed? She seemed to have changed overnight, especially after dinner with Ryan and his parents. I don't recall anyone saying anything to set her off, and then what? I'll lose my mind thinking about it. What do you guys think? Did something happen? Or is she being her usual self, unable to see me happy? Let me know your thoughts and your comments, and I'll be back for an update. Goodbye. Update number 1. Hey everyone, I'm back with an update like I said. I really need to vent before I go talk to my mother, or I'm afraid that I'll say things that I don't want to say. But first of all, thank you so much for an overwhelming engagement on my post. I honestly did not expect it. So many of you wrote such kind words, and I'm sad to learn how many of you guys related to me about my mother's trouble. Well, may God have mercy on us all, and those of you who called me a brat, try living with my mom, and then we'll talk. Anyways, so as the day went by, my mom's hostility towards our wedding only seemed to grow stronger. It was like she was on a mission to tear us apart, trying everything in her power to sow discord between me and Ryan, or ruin our special day in any way that she could. At first, I tried to ignore her behavior, telling myself that maybe she was just stressed or going through a rough patch. But as her antics became more and more outrageous, I couldn't help but wonder what was really going on. I mean, yes, it's always made my life a living hell, but any times I tried to do anything that she didn't like, she would insistently tell me off, but never really tried to stop me or do something about it, even if it really was going to harm me. This time it's different. It's like she's ready to go to any lengths to stop me from marrying Ryan. I mean, did you know that she even shooed my wedding planner away, saying that there isn't going to be a wedding? I had to later call and apologize, and she upped her price to agree to take care of the wedding again. I'd been spending most of my time away from home to avoid her. Now, let me tell you what caused such anger and the reason I'm writing this to you guys today. This morning I was at Ryan's and we were going through his parents' wedding album, looking for ideas, and her mother was reminiscing about the good old days. Well, guess what caught my eye? In one of the pictures, there she was, my mom, standing right there next to Ryan's parents. I mean, what? My mother already knew Ryan's parents? Why did no one say this to me? I asked Ryan's mother about her, and I instantly wished I didn't, because her face fell. She first fumbled with the photo, saying that she didn't expect to still find it and was very sorry that I found it. I couldn't care less at the moment, so I asked her again how my mother knew them. She simply stood up and apologized for not being able to answer my question and suggested that it's best if I ask my own mom. It confused me even more. I mean, what's going on? Ryan's mom excused herself, saying that she had an appointment and needs to go. I understood that she didn't want me to further press the topic, so I left too. On my way home, everything clicked into place. It all made sense now. Why my mom was so determined to ruin our wedding. Why she had been acting so hostile towards Ryan and me, it wasn't about us at all. It was about her. From Ryan's mother's reaction, it was clear that something must have happened between them. Something bad, but what? I couldn't believe it at first. How could my own mother harbor such resentment and jealousy towards Ryan's parents after all these years? What could possibly have happened between them to cause such animosity? I know I need to confront her to get to the bottom of this once and for all, and I'm just so angry right now and don't want to discuss things with her like this, which is why I'm venting to you guys first. So let me know what you think about this. I'll update you as soon as I clear the air with my mom. Goodbye. Updates number 2. Hello everyone, I know it's only been a day since I last updated, but trust me, this one day alone gave such a lifetime of shock and honesty. This post has been working like a coping mechanism every time my mother made me lose it. Let me begin from where I left it last time to not confuse anyone. So, you remember how I found a picture of my mother and Ryan's parents' wedding album. So I took it with me and confronted her, and when I showed her the picture from the wedding album, her face paled, and she looked like she had seen a ghost. I could tell that she was caught off guard, that she hadn't expected me to find out the truth, but instead of apologizing or explaining herself, she just broke down in tears. I was taken back, unsure of what to do or say, and I'd never seen my mom like this before. So vulnerable, raw, and all I could do was stand there feeling confused. Crying vehemently, she started apologizing and confessed everything. It turns out she had a history with Ryan's parents, one that went back many, many years. Back when they were all young, my mom and Ryan's dads were friends, and my mom had been in love with Ryan's dad. I couldn't believe what I was hearing, but didn't interrupt her. She continues how Ryan's dad had met Ryan's mom, and he fell head over heels for her, leaving my mother heartbroken, and then she told me something I wish I never heard. She stuttered. Well, he may be your real father. What? Guys, in her jealousy and straight-up anger, my mother had done something so unforgivable. That's right. The night before Ryan's parents' wedding, she had been drunk and made Ryan's father drink a lot too, and guess what? She even slept with Ryan's dad that night. Ah, that's right. Hoping to destroy their relationship for good, but it didn't work. Ryan's parents had stayed together, and my mom had been left to deal with the consequences of her actions. She was already engaged to a man, which is her now husband, arranged by her father. And since she had lost her love recently, she only agreed to marry my father, hoping to forget the past. But soon, she got pregnant with me, and she never knew who my real dad was. She then confessed that this was the reason she hated me all her life. I was just nothing more than a constant reminder of what she did, and that man that she had lost. I just stood there, taking it all, too stunned to even speak. The mother was still crying when I turned around and left, and it was suffocating to be even in the same room as her. I don't understand anything right now, and as I'm writing this to you, my mind is riddled with 1,000 buzzing questions. Who's my real father? What if Ryan's father is my real father? Does Ryan's mother know this part too, or is she in the dark? Doesn't that make me and Ryan part siblings? The thought also makes me sick. I mean, how could she hide something so big? Gosh, what'll happen when my father learns about this? I don't know what to do. Should I tell Ryan? I mean, if it's true, there's no way we can be together. Guys, please help. Update number 3. Hey guys, well, I'm back with another update, and for those of you who have been following the entire post, I just think that this update will come as a bit of a relief. I know how big of a relief learning the whole truth finally has been for me. Many of you in the comments suggested that I should share everything with Ryan, and together we decided what to do next, so that's exactly what I did. Ryan has always been my rock, so I told everything to him. About my mom's shocking revelation, about the idea that his father could be my father too, and how he could be related. He listened patiently, and I could tell that he was just as shocked and confused, but held himself together for my sake. He simply said there's no point in us getting worried and speculating the worst. This was not our mess, but our elders, and they should be the ones to clear it up. So together, we decided to confront his father. It wasn't the easiest thing to do, and I didn't know how to face him anymore. Thankfully, Ryan was there by my side all through it. We went to see him together and explained everything, watching closely for his reaction, and surprisingly, he did not seem very shocked. He accepted the idea and said that everything my mother had told me was true. Before the shock could even hit me, he dropped another bombshell, guys. A good one, but a shocking one. He calmly says, "But you're not my daughter." He confessed that nothing had happened between him and my mom that night, and he explained that my mother was too drunk to remember exactly what went down, and she had mistakenly thought that they hooked up. Even more surprising, he told us that secretly he did a test to check if I was really his daughter. The results confirmed that I wasn't. He assured me how much he loved Ryan's mom and how he would never cheat on his wife or betray her trust. This was nothing more than a gigantic relief. I kid you not. I instantly felt Ryan loosen up beside me, and he didn't say anything but just hugged me tight. He had been equally scared of losing me as I had been losing him in case we turned out to be blood-related. More importantly, I was hoping that my father is my real father, the one who had always loved me more than himself, and it would have broken him in case the truth turned out to be different. Which brings me to my next thing that I wanted to share with you guys. After clearing everything up, when I went back to my parents' house, guess who I found waiting for me? Yeah, that's right, my mother. The moment I stepped inside the house, she came rushing towards me and started apologizing. I said I had something to tell her, but wanted to do it with my father there as well, so that he knows about it too. She loudly said no and started blabbing about how my father could not know about this and how she would not let anyone tell him. Before I could refuse, my father shows up asking if everything is okay. Well, my mother dismissed him, saying that we were only discussing the wedding and he should leave us to it. My father then was not convinced, but he left us, and as soon as he was gone, my mother starts to beg me not to tell my father anything. She literally went on her knees, saying that she would do anything as long as I promised not to tell him. Guys, I don't know what I should do. I mean, I know I'm his daughter only, so there's nothing new to share, and my parents weren't married when this incident happened. However, he deserves to know the truth, doesn't he? Should I or should I not tell him, guys? Please, I beg you, let me know. Final update. Update number 4. Hello everyone, I'm back again after 7 months with the final update. A lot's happened since, and honestly I forgot about this post. But some of you guys commented on my last post asking for updates, so here I am with this one. I thought a lot about the consequences of telling my father the truth. Some of you commented that it would be cruel of me to tell him the truth, while others said that he deserves to know, and decided what he wants to do next. After a lot of thinking, actually, it wasn't even about thinking, every time I went around him I felt this weight and guilt like I couldn't face him, and it was slowly eating our relationship up, so I decided to come clean. I sat him down and tell him everything about Mom's confession and her thoughts on the possibility of my father-in-law being my real dad, and the truth my father-in-law had told me about it all. His eyes was shocked, to say the least. He didn't say much, even though I could see it in his eyes how much he was hurting. He called for my mother, and one look on our faces, and she understood the situation. Before my father could say anything, she got so mad at me for telling him the truth, and she ran to attack me. Thankfully, my father caught her, too, in the nick of time. He still gave her a chance to explain herself, and I guess she was too embarrassed to say everything herself. So she just agreed to accepting whatever I may have told him. My father said he didn't care about her cheating on him. That was before the wedding, and even though it's equally betraying and hurtful, it doesn't matter much. What he is really upset about is how she could have hidden the truth, or at least that she considered the truth to be. About my true father all these years, knowing full well how much he loves me, and in the end my father simply said that he cannot forgive her for betraying his trust, lying to him for all this time that they've been together and treating me like, well, the way she has since I was born. She starts to cry and straight up begged for his forgiveness. Well, I wasn't okay with that, but he simply asked her to leave and wait for divorce papers. It's been 7 months to the day, and I've been happily married for 5 of them. As for my father, he's currently on his 3rd solo trip. The divorce went quietly, and since my mom cheated and lied, she wasn't really liable to receive anything. However, my father didn't want to leave her out in the dry, so he left her with a home, saying that the house had too many bad memories anywho. I asked him to move in with us since we had a place upstairs, and he did. But it's safe to say that it's like he doesn't even live here. Just comes to visit us every month due to all the solo traveling he's been doing. He seems happier, and that's all I can ask for. Well, guys, as for me, I'm finally between the people who are all loving me and don't shrink away at the sight of me because of all their ill doings. This is all the happy ending I needed. This is for my story. So thank you so much for your support and kindness throughout the journey. I wish you all the best in your lives. Goodbye. Number 1 comment, negative. It says, "Wow, Lena, drama, much. Seriously, your whole story reads like a soap opera. First, it's all about your mom hating you. Then it's about your mom possibly hooking up with your boyfriend's dad. And now it's about your dad divorcing your mom over some paternity drama years ago. It's a bit much to believe. And don't even get me started on dragging your dad into this mess. Couldn't you have just let him live his life in peace instead of stirring up a pot of drama? But no, you had to act like you're some saint. We all know this drama of your 'he deserves the truth' is only your excuse for wanting to get back at your mom. Come on." Guys, I just have to hear from you on this very specific topic because the comment section was so mixed up in this. I want to hear from you if you think that OP went too far by telling her father everything that, well, went down. Even though it was so many years later, it didn't actually affect anything because, well, there was no cheating that actually went down. It was all just kind of a misunderstanding, and, well, some can argue that's true, but she still hid it from her significant other. And I want to know what you think about OP telling him. So guys, drop it in the comment section. Let's talk about it down below. My name's Mr. Reddit, so I narrate stories like this every single day. And if you guys want to be a part of these stories, consider subscribing for daily revenge stories and whatever other story we can get in. Guys, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. And of course, remember, it's cool to be kind. Peace.